Hello, I'm Peter Whittle. Now here's a sobering statistic to share at Christmas time. Nearly 3,500 churches in the UK have closed in the past 10 years. At the same time, the number of new mosques continues to grow exponentially. Now, Britain is often referred to as a post-Christian society nowadays, or indeed as one that's more secular than it's ever been. The polls confirm this, although it would be more accurate to say that religion is growing, just not Christianity. It is Islam which will increasingly occupy the public space. There are, however, a huge number of people, possibly millions, who would describe themselves as cultural Christians. People who support the values, the history, and indeed the artifacts of the church without believing in the scriptures. Now, such people would doubtless be very alarmed to hear of this mass closure of our churches and their replacement by something else. So I would say to those people, go to church. Even if you don't believe it, show your support of our heritage and culture by turning up this Christmas, and thereafter perhaps making it a regular thing. It is all very well expressing one's dismay and fear for the future of our culture. However, there is little to stop the physical abandonment of our churches if we the people don't care enough and cannot be bothered enough to help fill the pews. Ignore the wokery of the church establishment for once and keep your eyes on the bigger picture, because there is so much at stake. Christmas is a time of particular traditions, and these are now undermined by nihilists and those who hate our culture. Again, we must not accept this as being inevitable, or indeed ourselves as being powerless. To take another example, the decline of that uniquely British institution, the pub. This year alone, around 50 pubs have closed every month. We can all recount the commercial reasons why this has happened, but it's not the whole picture. The left establishment seems to take any opportunity to attack the most communal institution in our culture. Most recently with the so-called anti-banter proposals, which would effectively turn landlords into eavesdroppers. So, I would say again, don't just bemoan the gradual disappearance of pubs from our high streets, towns and villages. This Christmas, go to your local or the nearest pub to you. Show your support. Show that we don't have to just sit back helplessly and watch our cultural landscape become more and more threadbare. If we just accept decline, there will be nothing left but a very sketchy memory. Why should Christmas be a particular target for the cultural haters? Well, more than anything, it is because it is a time for families to get together and celebrate not just the occasion of Christmas, but the fact that they are indeed families. The hard left and the woke hate this. You might have seen various Democrats in the US recently urging people to reject their Trump-voting families at Thanksgiving. And indeed, we saw something similar here during Brexit. Remainers refusing to engage and indeed cutting off contact with Brexit-voting parents. Now, you and I know only too well that such emotional and social punishment is entirely one way. And indeed, it's been helped along over the years by an entertainment culture which largely portrays the family as the root of all dysfunction and as a source of terrible restriction from which the poor put upon individual must flee. To those who would shun their relatives because of their political views, I would say, don't. Any satisfaction you might derive from it will be fleeting and hollow. I imagine that you consider yourself to be thoughtful and open-minded. Well, I would say, apply this to those nearest to you. You will be better for it in the long run. As the great American satirist P.J. O'Rourke once said, quote, "Everyone wants to save the world. Nobody wants to help mum do the dishes." You can do both. Christmas is the perfect time to appreciate those around you as rounded human beings. Perhaps it's a little early, but I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Thank you.